I just have to mute myself on the computer. Alright, let's go. What is going on, everybody? Today we are back, and today it is time to film the 2022 NFL Week Numero Siete predictions. I know numero is not Spanishly correct, but I don't really care. I know that number in Spanish is, I don't know what is number in Spanish. I took Spanish for 4 years, but I forgot. I had it in 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, and 11th grade, but I still forgot what number is. What is number in Spanish? Oh, numero. I should have known that. Either way, we are back for the Week 7 NFL picks and predictions. I am your host, J-Dude, and I'm here to take you through the week. What do I think? Who is going to win? As can be seen, it is kind of a sad week because that is my team, everybody. That is the Minnesota Vikings, and they are on bye week, which is pretty sad because bye week is boring. Well, not really. Bye week's a great time for me to get homework done, which is what I will be doing. We will start with the teams on the bye this week. We have got 4 teams on the bye this week. It is 4 actually pretty good teams. First up, it is the Los Angeles Rams. The Los Angeles Rams are... Oh, how do I look at division? Oh, conference. There we go. Okay. Excuse me. The Los Angeles Rams are currently 7th in the NFC. They have a record of 3 wins and 3 losses. The Los Angeles Rams are coming off of a win over the Carolina Panthers. 24-10 was the final score. So the Rams, I know they were in on Christian McCaffrey. The CMC trade was a pretty big deal yesterday when that happened. The Panthers traded Christian McCaffrey to the San Francisco 49ers for a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th round pick. I know the Rams were in contention for that trade. They wanted to throw Cam Akers back at the way of Carolina, but Carolina opted for the picks instead. It is probably because they're tanking for a rebuild, which makes sense. So their current GM, whom I believe is David Tepper, could be wrong, but I believe Tepper is the current GM of the Panthers. He is loading up on... Oh. He is not their GM. Oh. Oh, Tepper was there. Oh, he got fired. Oh. Wait, Tepper's the owner. Oh. See, I don't know my ownership of the organization of the Panthers, but there's always time to learn. So, the Carolina Panthers, it's kind of funny that their GM is doing all this stuff, getting all these draft picks, but he's probably not even going to be the GM to use the draft picks. I would think more than likely the Panthers are going to fire their current GM. I would assume he's also the GM that made the Baker Mayfield trade, which was an awful trade. Did not work well for them, and Baker's out right now anyways, which doesn't even matter because the Panthers season was kind of a shipwreck anyways. But, yeah. So that was my quick spiel about the Panthers and their ownership. But now I'm going to get back on track. We are talking about the Rams. It is their bye week. They are 3-3. They've had a fairly disappointing year, actually, considering the high standings they were expected to be at because they won the Super Bowl last year. Obviously, they were going to be expected to be a decent team again this year, but it isn't quite working out. They're still 3-3. Obviously, the season's not over yet. We've still got a decent amount of season left, but the Rams have not been what we expected them to be. Also on the bye week, we have I'm going to go with my team next, the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, the Minnesota Vikings are currently, I believe, 2nd in the NFC with a record of 5 wins and 1 loss. My team, the Minnesota Vikings, are coming off of a win over the Miami Dolphins last week. Overall, the Minnesota Vikings did not play great in the game at all, but that is okay because a win is a win. The team is 5-1 heading into their bye week. They're going to have a good game next week against the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals really played well last night. Their offense woke up with the return of DeAndre Hopkins. That is going to be a good game to watch next week. Cardinals at Vikings. Minnesota Vikings could be they could be 7-1 heading into their game against the Bills. Yes, the Buffalo Bills are currently 5-1 and on the bye week as well. The Buffalo Bills are coming off of a win. Oh yeah, they beat the Chiefs. Good game, 24-20 over the Chiefs. It was a really good game. Josh Allen hooked up with Dawson Knox at the end of the game to take the lead, and the Bills were able to preserve the victory. For the next 2 weeks, the Minnesota Vikings play versus the Cardinals, which the Cardinals played well last night, but other than last night, the Cardinals have been a pretty lowly team this year. And Marquise Brown is also on the IR, so he's going to be out for that game. He is going to be out for at least a month, I've heard. And then week 9, the Minnesota Vikings play at the Washington Commanders, which is definitely a very winnable game, especially with Carson Wentz out, even though I'll talk about the Commanders later, so I'm not going to get into it. In the Bills, they have a legitimate shot to be 7-1. That could be a 7-1 versus 7-1 game, quite possibly between the Vikings and the Bills, and it's the Stephon Diggs revenge game. So I talked about the Bills, I talked about Minnesota, I talked about the Rams. Last but not least is the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles are 6-0. Heading into the bye week, they are the only remaining undefeated team in the entire NFL. Last week, the Philadelphia Eagles won on Sunday Night Football over the Dallas Cowboys. The Eagles jumped out to an early 17-point lead in the game. The Cowboys almost came back, but Cooper Rush was not able to pull through. I will gladly admit that my Cooper Rush takes last week were severely incorrect. I was wrong about that. Eagles, I would personally say the Eagles are not the best team in the NFL. I know you can debate me. They're 6-0, which is great, but sometimes record does not always dictate your actual team. If the Bills play the Eagles in a head-to-head match, I think the Bills would win. The Bills are simply the better team. Eagles have had some second half woes this year. They have not played well in the second half, but because of their first half leads, they have been able to win the game. But that will not probably remain consistent. They will have to do some work if they want to continue as the team they are. Alright, that is the teams on the bye. We are now moving on to that matchup right there. Thursday Night Football was last night. I'm not going to talk about it, though. I did pick the Arizona Cardinals -2, so I picked the Cardinals to win by 2 or more, and they did win by 2 or more, so I was correct on that prediction. Currently in my predictions, I am, not factoring in last night's game, I was 51 for 94. That is a completion percentage of 54.26%. My target percentage is 58.41, so I'm 4% below my target, but hopefully this week I will bring that number back up. Last week I only went 6 for 14, so I did not have a good week. There were plenty of times I picked the team to win, but they did not cover the spread, which is not cool. We are going to be kicking off today's video with that game right there. It is the Indianapolis Colts, and they are facing off against the Tennessee Titans, everybody. The Indianapolis Colts are coming off of a win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. It was a close game, but the Colts were able to score a touchdown, I believe, in the final 2 minutes of the game. That is what really put them over the top. The Indianapolis Colts right now, as far as the standings, they are 7th in the AFC. They have a record of 3 wins, 2 losses, and a tie. That is the Tennessee Titans as the home team in this game. They are 3rd in the AFC with a record of 3-2. They lead the AFC South by a half game. The Tennessee Titans, I believe, are coming off of their bye week, but I could be incorrect. Yep, Titans are coming off of their bye week. They're going to be rested heading into this game. I'm kind of just going to make my prediction here. The Titans are currently favored by 2.5 points. I like the Tennessee Titans to cover their 2.5 point spread. It is a home game in Nashville. Derrick Henry, in history, has been very well against the Colts. He has rushed for a lot of yardage and a lot of touchdowns. He has torn the Colts apart in recent years. I like the Titans to cover. They're coming off the bye week. They are hopefully going to be the healthier team in this game. The Colts really have not impressed me. They have been stepping it up over the past couple weeks. They've been better, but I'm still not impressed by the Colts this year. I like the Titans to win this game and win this game by 2.5 or more. I am taking the Titans to cover the spread. That moves us into our next game, everybody. I can't see what it is quite yet, but I will let you know when we get to it. We are moving to our next game. Here we go. Here we go. That is our next game, everybody. It is an AFC North duel. We have got the Cleveland Browns, and they are taking on the Baltimore Ravens this week. Everybody, the Cleveland Browns are coming off of a loss. Oh yeah, they got thrashed in the fourth quarter by the New England Patriots. Excuse me. The Browns were able to keep the game close for a while, but the Patriots kind of whooped them at the end of the game. Final score was 38-15. That is the Baltimore Ravens. They are coming off of a loss to the New York Giants. Yes. Last night I was watching SportsCenter and they dropped the stat in the 6 games that the Ravens have played this season. They've held a double-digit lead in every single game, and yet they are still 3-3. The Cleveland Browns are currently 13th in the AFC with a record of 2-4. They desperately need Deshaun Watson back, but again, it'll still be a while before Deshaun Watson is back. He's serving an 11-game suspension, and they have their bye week in there too. So really, he won't be back until week 13. So we are only halfway through the season. So they are really going to need him back. This will not be the Browns' year, I personally don't believe. The Baltimore Ravens are currently 4th in the AFC. They are 3-3, leading the AFC North. Here we go. For this game, the Ravens, I believe, are favored by 6.5. I'm just going to make my prediction here. I like the Ravens to win this game, but not by 6.5. My reasoning for it is going to be because the Ravens have been blowing so many leads this year. I think they're still going to win the game. They're not going to blow any leads in the game. But do I trust them to win by 6.5 or more? Not by the way they've been playing in the fourth quarter and the second half this season. I like the Browns to lose the game by less than 6.5. I like the Ravens to win the game, but it won't be by more than 6.5. So I'm going to take Browns plus 6.5 in this game to advance to 3-4. Ravens will drop. No, I just said that wrong. I don't think the Browns are going to win this game, so they're going to drop to 2-5. Ravens are going to win and move to 4-3, but Ravens will not be winning by 6.5 or more. That's why I'm going Cleveland plus 6.5. Our next game, everybody, is going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Carolina Panthers. I will see you then. That is the next matchup. It is an NFC South showdown between Tampa Bay and Carolina. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are coming off of a loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. No one really saw it coming. The Steelers won the game 20-18. I didn't think the Bucs were going to win comfortably, but I also didn't think the Bucs were going to lose the game. The Carolina Panthers are coming off of a loss to the Los Angeles Rams. Final score 24-10. Like I talked about earlier in the video, CMC was traded to the San Francisco 49ers. Baker is hurt. CMC's been traded. Robbie Anderson was traded to the Arizona Cardinals after getting ejected by his own coach. So everyone knows that the Panthers are currently just blowing up the franchise right now. They are going into a complete rebuild. Obviously, it all kind of started with the Sam Darnold pick. That was an absolute whiff. Well, Sam Darnold wasn't. I meant Sam Darnold was with the Jets. Then they traded for Sam Darnold, which is a whiff. Then they also traded for Baker Mayfield, which was also a whiff. So they've just had a whiff of quarterbacks. and they just need to rebuild. They just need a new start, new GM, new head coach after Matt Rule was fired. They just need a restart next season. They need to push the reset button. Right now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are currently favored by 12.5 points in this game. That is a lot of points. The largest I've ever taken a team to cover this season is 10.5, which was the Rams last week, and the Rams successfully covered 10.5 against the Panthers. So, believe it or not, I am going to take the Chiefs, or excuse me, I'm forgetting the team. I'm taking the Bucks to cover minus 12.5. Everyone knows the Panthers are absolutely blowing it up right now. I don't like the Bucks as a team. They have not been good, but because the Panthers are absolutely screwed, I'm going to take the Panthers to not cover. The Bucks will win the game by 12.5 or more. 12.5 is a big number, but do I really think the Panthers are actually going to lose by less than 12.5? Look at their roster. That is all I have to say. I don't like the Bucks, but I don't like the Panthers even more. I'm taking Bucks minus 12.5. That might be the craziest pick I think I have today. Well, that'll move us into our next game. Falcons taking on the Bengals. Let's go. Next game. Woo! That is the next game. It is the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Last week, the Atlanta Falcons took a win, which I didn't think was going to happen, over the San Francisco 49ers. I picked the Niners to cover their 5.5 point spread in the game, and they did not. The Falcons really have been a sneaky team all year. Every time I pick against them, they seem to either lose but cover their portion, or they win the game. So maybe I just have to stop picking against the Falcons, because they've been proving me wrong this season. The Cincinnati Bengals are coming off of a win over the New Orleans Saints. The final score was 30-26. It was a good game, came down to the end, but the Bengals were able to come away with the victory. As far as standings, let's get that checked out. The Cincinnati Bengals are currently 8th in the AFC and out of the playoffs if it ended today, with a record of 3-3. The Atlanta Falcons on the NFC side, the Atlanta Falcons are currently 9th in the NFC with a record of 3-3 as well. This is actually a pretty good matchup. I would say the Bengals are the favored team. Again, they are the home team in this match. The spread is currently Bengals minus 6. Bengals are currently favored by 6 as of when I pulled those numbers, which I believe was on Wednesday, or maybe even it was yesterday. No, I think it was Wednesday was when I pulled all these numbers. Wednesday, the Bengals were favored by 6, and I'm just going to make my prediction here. I like the Falcons to plus 6. If the Falcons don't cover their half, I will get mad, because every time I keep picking against the Falcons, and they keep either winning or losing close games, so they keep screwing me over. I like the Falcons at plus 6. I trust them to cover the plus 6 in this game. I like the Bengals to win it, but at minus 6, it's nothing against, by the way, it's nothing against the Bengals. It's really just that the Falcons have kept coming up and biting me in the butt. So I like the Falcons at plus 6. We are going to move into our next game. As a Viking fan, it is my favorite game of the week, because even though the Vikings aren't playing, their rivals are. It is the Green Bay Packers and the Washington Commanders coming up next. Let's go. For the next matchup, we have got the Green Bay Packers, and they are taking on the Washington Commanders, everybody. Like I said last week, my upset game of the week was going to be Jets and Packers, and the Jets won. Yes, I called it last week. I said if we are going to have any upset games this week, it is going to be Jets over Packers. And I called that one. You already know. The New York Jets took the win over the Green Bay Packers, everybody. The Packers are, the final score of the game is what I'm looking for. I don't remember it off the top of my head. It was 27-10. Packers got whooped. Their offense was cooked. I am rhyming like I'm Eminem. You already know. Aaron Rodgers did not play well at all. He is not doing well in the offense right now. Man, the Packers are just not it right now. And as a Viking fan, I am happy to say the Vikings comfortably have a 2-game lead in the division right now. Even though the Vikings aren't playing great, the Packers have just not been it right now. But I don't want to say too much and have that karma come back. The Washington Commanders are coming off of. I think it was their bye week. Yeah. Commanders are coming off of their bye week. As far as standings, the Green Bay Packers are currently 8th in the NFC with a record of 3-3. The Washington Commanders are currently 12th in the NFC with a record of 2-4. Currently, the Packers are favored in this game by 5 points. I like the Commanders plus 5. I don't know if the Commanders are going to win this game, but I'm going to put upset alert. You hear the upset alert? It is back on this game. I'm putting an upset alert on the Packers again this week. Even though I think the Packers are going to win this game, spoiler alert, I don't think they're going to win it by more than 5. The Commanders haven't been good this season. Again, Carson Wentz, I already said I was going to talk about him, so I will. Carson Wentz is going to be out for at least a month, I believe. Or I think 4 to 6 weeks. Carson Wentz is going to be out, but Carson Wentz isn't even a great quarterback. So then putting Taylor Heineke in really doesn't change things for me. No matter who their quarterback is, the team isn't very good. Carson Wentz wasn't good. Taylor Heineke isn't super good, but I can't say a whole lot about him because he used to be with the Vikings. Either way, I like the Commanders to cover the spread. They haven't been that good this season, but the Packers, they've been struggling. This is their first back-to-back loss. This is their first time having back-to-back losses under the Matt LaFleur era. This is Aaron Rodgers' first time having, or he hasn't had 3 losses in a row since 2018. That's a long time ago. I like the Commanders at plus 5 in this game. I still think the Packers are going to win, but upset alert is possible. Commanders fans, y'all better be watching. You guys could be coming out with a W this week, and the Vikings could be having a 2.5 game lead in the division after this one. That brings us to our next game. It is the New York Giants facing the Jacksonville Jaguars right here. That is our next game. It is the New York Giants taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. The New York Giants are coming off of a win over the Baltimore Ravens. Yes, the Ravens blew a 10-point lead in the game. Their third 10-plus point lead that they blew of the season. Everyone, please just remember, the New York Giants are 5-1, which is just insane. No one saw it coming. I didn't see it coming, but the Giants are 5-1 right now. Daniel Jones is at the helm. I still don't trust him, but the team is 5-1, so I don't think they will have this. I don't think they'll be able to sustain the current success they're having with Daniel Jones at quarterback. But hey, I'm gonna ride the wave if it keeps going until New Year's Eve, or no, Christmas Eve, when the Giants play the Vikings. I will not be riding the wave for that game. I will be saying Skol. The Jacksonville Jaguars are coming off of a loss to the Indianapolis Colts. I had the Jaguars taking the win in that game. They let me down. Let's take a look at the standings. Currently in the NFC, the New York Giants are 5th in the NFC with a record of 5 wins and 1 loss. As far as the Jacksonville Jaguars, I had the division right. The Jacksonville Jaguars, as of right now, are 11th in the AFC with a record of 2 wins and 4 losses. For this game, I believe the Jaguars are favored by 3. I'm just going to make the prediction. I'm taking the Giants plus 3. Giants have actually been pretty good this year. Again, they haven't been playing super great like the Vikings. I will admit the Vikings have not been playing very good. Neither have the Giants, but a win is a win. So I will continue riding the Giants' blue wave until it crashes down, which I think might happen eventually. Jaguars have not been consistent at all this year. They started the year really well, but they have not been able to consistently put together good games. I like the Giants plus 3 in this game. That moves us to the Cowboys hosting the Detroit Lions coming up right now. Cowboys are coming off of a loss Sunday Night Football. Alright, I'm ready. Next matchup. It is the Detroit Lions taking on the Dallas Cowboys. The Lions are coming off of their bye week. The Detroit Lions are coming off of a loss on Sunday Night Football to the Philadelphia Eagles. Like I said earlier, they were down early. They almost came back, but they were not able to win in the end. Currently, let's take a look at the standings. The Dallas Cowboys are currently, I believe, 6th in the NFC. The Cowboys are 6th in the NFC with a record of 4-2. Dak Prescott is expected to be back in this game. Again, I was on the Cooper Rush bus last week, but I'm really not anymore. As far as the Detroit Lions, the Lions are currently 15th in the NFC. They have a record of 1-4. They have been playing close games, but they've not been completing the game. As of right now, the Cowboys are currently favored by 7 in this game. Home game for Dallas. I'm just going to make the prediction. I'm taking Detroit plus 7. I think the Cowboys are going to win this game no matter what, but I don't like them to win by more than 7 points. With Dak Prescott coming back, there may be some wrinkles in the offense considering that it's been 5 weeks since he last played. I like the Dallas Cowboys. They've been playing I like the Dallas Cowboys to win, but the Detroit Lions have been playing in a lot of close games. I think the Lions will. I'm taking Lions at plus 7. They will keep it a close game, but the Cowboys will win it in the end. I know it really doesn't matter, but my prediction is going to be 23-17 final score. I know the score doesn't really actually matter because the actual spreadsheet prediction is what matters, but that is just my random guess. 23-17 is going to be the score. That moves us into our next one. It is the Houston Texans taking on the Las Vegas Raiders coming up next. Here we go. That is our next game. It is the Houston Texans, and they are headed out to the desert. Well, the desert would be Arizona. I meant they're headed out to the Strip to play the Las Vegas Raiders. Both teams are coming off of their bye week. Both teams are currently the bottom 2 in the AFC. The Raiders are currently 16th and last place in the AFC right now with a record of 1-4. The Houston Texans are 15th in the AFC with a record of 1-3-1. As of right now, the Raiders are currently favored by 7 in this game. I don't even need to talk about these teams because they're coming off their bye week, so I don't talk about their performance last week. I'm taking the Raiders to cover -7. Considering both teams have been bad, you'd think it's going to be a close game that the Raiders are going to win. No, I'm going to take the Raiders to break out of their funk of the bye week. I like the Raiders to cover. They're 1-4 on the season. People had high expectations for them. I trust the Raiders to come out firing and come out ahead in this game. They're going to try and get back in the standings this season, and this will be their first game to do so. I am taking Raiders -7. Moving on to the next game, that was a quick one. We have got the New York Jets and the Denver Broncos. Lost to the Chargers on Monday night. All right, let's go. That is the next game. It is the New York Jets, and they are facing the Denver Broncos. The New York Jets are coming off of a win, thank goodness, over the Green Bay Packers. I already talked about it. The New York Jets won the game 27-10. Zach Wilson didn't have a great day, but Breece Hall had a great day. As far as the Denver Broncos, they're coming off of a loss on Monday Night Football to the Los Angeles Chargers. The Broncos were able to carry the game into overtime, but Russ and the Broncos are not riding. Broncos country, not riding. Currently, the Jets are currently on the road and favored by 1 point in this game. As far as standings wise, let's check it out. The New York Jets are currently 6th in the AFC with a record of 4-2. Yeah, you like that? The Jets are currently in the playoffs if the season ended today. As far as the Denver Broncos, they are currently 12th in the AFC with a record of 2-4. Russ is not cooking right now. He got hurt 2 weeks ago, still played in the game Monday night. Either way, yeah. I like the Jets at -1 in this game. Jets have been good this season. Broncos have not been a trustworthy team. Broncos country, not riding. I like the Jets. They have really been surprising. They are 4-2 on the year, which I was not expecting. But I'm going Jets -1. They have been exceeding my expectations. What can I say? That moves us to the next one. It is Seattle traveling out to face the Chargers. Alrighty. Alright. Here we go. It is Seattle Seahawks, and they are taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. The Seattle Seahawks are coming off of a 19-9 win over the Arizona Cardinals last week. The Seahawks actually aren't that bad of a team. The Seattle Seahawks in the standings, let's go down to the NFC and find them. The Seattle Seahawks right now are currently 10th in the NFC. They have a record of 3-3. They're not a great team, but Pete Carroll is doing better than I expected the team would be doing. The Los Angeles Chargers are coming off of a win on Monday Night Football over the Denver Broncos. I already kind of talked about that. The final score was 19-16. Justin Herbert did not have a great game at all, but the Chargers were able to win, and that is what is important. In the AFC right now, the Los Angeles Chargers are currently 5th with a record of 4-2. Currently, the Chargers are favored in this game by 6. I'm taking Seattle +6. I know I like the Chargers to win this game. I think the Chargers are going to be moving to 5-2 on the year with a win. But I like the Seahawks to not lose by more than 6 points. Seattle really has been playing actually pretty well this year. They've been losing some close games. So I like Seattle to cover their portion. I know I didn't really talk much about the game, but I didn't really need to because it was pretty self-explanatory. That moves us into our next one. It is the Kansas City Chiefs, and they are facing on the San Francisco 49ers. Did I say facing on? Taking on and facing off against. I combined them. Whatever. Chiefs, 49ers, coming up next to close out the late game slate. The Kansas City Chiefs are traveling out to Santa Clara this week, and they're playing the San Francisco 49ers. The Kansas City Chiefs are coming off of a 24-20 loss over the Buffalo Bills. It was a close game. Really, the whole game was close, even though I wasn't actually watching the game. But the Bills were able to come out on top. As far as the San Francisco 49ers, they're coming off of a 28-14 loss against the Atlanta Falcons. I thought the Niners had the game in the bag, but the Falcons were able to come out and get the victory. As far as standings go, let's take a peek. The Kansas City Chiefs, as of right now, are currently 2nd in the AFC with a record of 4-2. The San Francisco 49ers are 4th in the NFC with a record of 3-3. Like I talked about earlier in the video, the big blockbuster deal yesterday was Christian McCaffrey last night getting traded to the San Francisco 49ers from the Carolina Panthers. This definitely makes the 49ers a better team. The 49ers running back room just got solidified a significant amount more. They had Elijah Mitchell, but he has been hurt, so Jeff Mitchell, no. Why can't I think of that dude's name? Is it Elijah Mitchell and Jeff Mitchell? Yo, this would be breaking if it is. Oh, Jeff Wilson. I was confused. Mobby. Yeah, I meant Jeff Wilson. I was thinking it was Jeff Mitchell for some reason. Elijah Mitchell got hurt. Jeff Wilson is currently the starting running back. He's going to be the starting running back for this game, as well as Christian McCaffrey was just traded last night. I heard CMC is going to be available for this game, but it will only be for red zone packages, as he will not know the playbook fully yet. Obviously, it'll be tough for him to learn with just this short of a time. So, Jeff Wilson will be the primary running back for this game. I know the Chiefs are currently favored by 2.5, and I'm going to be taking the Chiefs minus 2.5. I liked the 49ers last week. They were not able to come through for me. The Chiefs were able to almost beat the Bills. I like the Chiefs in this game. If Christian McCaffrey would be playing, I would like the Niners a lot more, and he will be playing, but it will only be in red zone packages. So with Jeff Wilson still being the primary starter for the Niners running back room in this game, I'm taking Kansas City minus 2.5 for them to go door to door with the Bills. I like the Chiefs. That moves us into our next one. It is Sunday Night Football. Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Miami Dolphins. Just 2 games left in this video. That is the first one. It is Sunday Night Football. Pittsburgh Steelers are traveling out to Miami Gardens to face the Miami Dolphins. The Pittsburgh Steelers are coming off of a 20-18 win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week. Really, no one saw it coming, but the Steelers were able to win the game. The Miami Dolphins are coming off of a loss to the Minnesota Vikings last week. 24-16 was the final score of that game. Skylar Thompson was the starting quarterback for the Dolphins before he was knocked out in the second quarter with a thumb injury. Teddy Bridgewater came in and played decent, but the Vikings were able to win. They pulled away in the fourth quarter. Tua Tagovailoa is set to be the starting quarterback for the Dolphins again. Again, the Dolphins are 3-0 with Tua as the starting quarterback, and they are 0-3 without him. As far as standings go, let's take a peeker at the standings. The Miami Dolphins are 9th in the AFC right now at 3-3. They've lost 3 consecutive games after starting the season 3-0. As far as the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're 14th in the AFC with a record of 2-4. Not a lot of people had high hopes for the Steelers this year, and I still don't. The Dolphins are currently favored in this game by 7. I'm going to be taking Pittsburgh plus 7. I like Miami to win the game with Tua coming back, but is Tua going to be 100%? Is he going to be slinging like he was before he got hurt? I don't know. I hate to say it, but I am a little frustrated that Tua is playing in this game. I just find it unbelievable that the man suffered 2 concussions within a week, 5 days of each other, and now 3 weeks later he's going to be playing again. Imagine if he suffers 3 concussions in 4 weeks. That would just be an awful look on the NFL, and I get that Dolphins fans want him back, but you have to look at player safety. You know, you have to. That's what's most important, is being able to keep him safe. Just imagine what could happen if something like that happens again. It would not be good. It would not be good on the NFL. Something about it just frustrates me a little bit. But either way, I like the Dolphins to win this game. I like Pittsburgh to cover the spread, though. They really surprised everyone last week with their win over the Bucs. I don't like the Steelers to win the game, but I like them at plus 7. It will be a decently close game. Tua might not be 100%. As I'm watching this game, really, I'm just going to be hoping for the health of Tua, that he stays fine during the game. That's what's going to be most important to me. That moves us on to our final game of the week. It is Monday Night Football. It is the Chicago Bears traveling out to Foxborough to play the New England Patriots. That is our final game to close out the week. It is the Chicago Bears and the New England Patriots. The Chicago Bears are coming off of a loss on Thursday Night Football last week to the Washington Commanders. The final score is 12-7. The Bears had a chance to come back at the end, but Darnell Mooney was inches short of the goal line. The New England Patriots are coming off of a win over the Cleveland Browns. It was a close game, like I said earlier, for the first 3 quarters, but the Patriots were able to pull away at the end. The Chicago Bears are currently 13th in the NFC with a record of 2-4. They are currently in a rebuild. The New England Patriots are currently 10th in the AFC with a record of 3-3. Right now, the Patriots are currently favored by 7.5 points. I like the Patriots minus 7.5. Again, the Bears are in a complete rebuild. should have been able to beat the Commanders, but they couldn't even beat them. The Patriots were able to put up a lot of points late in the game against Cleveland. I like the Patriots minus 7.5. They should be able to take care of business against the Bears. It is really interesting to see how Bailey Zappi has been performing at quarterback for the Patriots. Mac Jones, after he was hurt, Bailey Zappi came in and he is now 2-0 as a starter. And he almost beat the Patriots in the game he came in as relief. So I think the Patriots are actually a decent team. I like them by 7.5 or more. That is going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like always, be sure to leave a like and share with your friends if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next one. I'm still going to say Skol Vikings even though they're on their bye week. Like, comment, subscribe, peace. Have a good night. And for Packer fans playing Washington this week, nope, that was bad. Skol Vikings. I'll see you guys next week.